everyone, welcome. We're on day 2 of our food freedom challenge, our 5-day food freedom challenge. So this free challenge that you can watch on this space, this is for you if you are tired of going from one diet to the next, or if the idea of going on a diet is so daunting that you don't even want to do it, that you don't even start. So what is yo-yo dieting and why it doesn't work? Have you ever been on a diet? Let me know in the chat. When I was overweight, and I was overweight for most of my life, I was obese as a child, as a teenager, I was 200 pounds, that's 90 kilograms, and then as an adult, oh my God, I was living my life in between diets. I was going from diet to diet. I tried everything. Atkins, keto, punishment exercise, where you go to the gym not to be strong and healthy, but to burn the calories you overate the day before. And this is a cycle that never ends. I did Weight Watchers, apps, everything. I even did hypnosis to dislike French fries because I thought that was my problem, French fries. But of course, I don't have to tell you that it didn't work. And I was telling myself, and tell me if you can relate to this, I was telling myself, Nasya, you know what to do. Just eat less and exercise more. And I was doing that, but the scale wasn't budging. And I couldn't stick with it. Maybe I was doing it for one day, maybe for a few weeks, but I always felt deprived. I was looking forward to my cheat meal, and the cheat meal soon became cheat day. The cheat day became cheat weekend, and then I was like, I'm gonna start later. And I was just hoping and praying and wishing that one of those diets will somehow stick with me and will become a lifestyle. But this never happened, not for a lack of motivation or desire, but because diets don't work. And here is why. I remember Jennifer from our Food Freedom program. Big shout out to Jennifer. She's amazing. And you can watch her interview on our YouTube channel. Very inspiring. So Jennifer, she's very smart, very capable, had many successes in her life. She quit alcohol. She quit smoking with the CBQ Quit Smoking program. But food was a big crutch. And she tried Weight Watchers, she tried Noom, she tried Willpower, the 75 Hard Challenge. She tried all that. And it was working for her. She was doing it. She was losing weight. But the moment she stopped each effort, she gained all the weight back. And she felt like something must be wrong with me. I cannot do it. I'll never figure it out. I cannot change. But all this changed for her, and she found success when she did one thing differently. I'm going to tell you that in a moment. So why diets don't work? Because diets are a temporary change. They're temporary. You do a sprint. Oh, I'm going to be deprived. I'm just going to push through until I fit into that wedding dress, until I fit into my bathing suit, until I fit in that coat, that t-shirt. But of course, the moment we're about to reach our goal, or after we reach it, we gain all the weight back. Why? Because we didn't change. How we relate to food didn't change. So our habits, our food noise comes back. The other thing with diets is that they rely on willpower. Willpower means you want to eat something and you go against your desire. Willpower doesn't work because willpower doesn't last. What you resist persist. So when you use your willpower to resist eating, maybe you can do it for 1 day or 2 days, but you cannot live your life always using willpower. That's not freedom. That's prison. That's food prison. So diets rely on willpower, and willpower lets us down, especially when we're stressed or after a long day or when our emotions are very, very intense. And the third thing about diets is that our diets, and tell me if this has happened to you, our diets fall apart. They crumble the moment we're outside of our routine. We are going on a diet and the moment we're stressed, the moment we go on vacation, the moment we travel, our diet just goes away. And then we have to go on another diet. Do you do this too? Going on a diet before the vacation, going on a diet after the vacation, and just living your life in between diets. So diets fall apart when there are changes in our routine or in our emotions. Those things are not sustainable. So if you have ever felt like no diet works for me, therefore I am the problem, you are not the problem. The problem is this approach. Especially when you have a bad relationship with food, an emotional relationship with food, no diet will work. And you may find yourself saying, oh, I know what to do, I just don't do it. The reason you don't do it is because your programming, your food programming is there. Think about it like this. Imagine you have a house, and that house has cracks on the wall. And instead of fixing the cracks, you go and paint over those cracks. It looks good for a while. It works for a little bit, but what happens next? The cracks come back because diets solve the symptom, our weight, but they don't solve the problem. And when we don't solve the problem, that is our food programming, our weight eventually comes back. Does that make sense? So food freedom is different. With food freedom, you have a permanent change in your behavior and in the food noise because you changed. You didn't change your circumstances or your fridge. You changed. You changed how you cope with food, how you relate to food, what food means to you, what you believe it offers you. And as a result of that, your habits change and your weight changes. So that makes it permanent. Also with food freedom, you don't have to use willpower. Because again, you change what you want. You're drawn to healthier food because it makes you feel good. You change your food programming, so you have freedom. And food freedom is a lifestyle change, not a diet. And there is a massive difference between diet and lifestyle change. A lifestyle, when food freedom is a lifestyle, what happens is when you're outside of your routine, when you're on vacation, when you travel for work, when it's the holidays, you adapt. Your lifestyle adapts. And then it's easy to go back to what I call your baseline. You look forward to that because it makes you feel good. So food freedom is completely different from going on a diet because you change from the inside out. And that's exactly what Jennifer did. Jennifer joined our food freedom program and changed her relationship with food. She lost 30 pounds. Mind you, without dieting, without willpower, without deprivation. And now she doesn't even try to lose any more weight. She's perfectly happy with where she's at. And she said this, and I love that. She said, I'm just doing my habits now, and it's easy now. I'm just living my life. And again, you can watch Jennifer's story on our YouTube channel or her entire interview where she shares with me her journey. Just amazing, amazing, so inspiring. So food freedom is completely different. The problem with diets is that they create some destructive rules for us. So my question to you is, what is a rule, a diet rule you have adopted through your life experience? For me, a big rule was I have to go to bed hungry. I have to be hungry. Another rule I had is if one day I overate, because it was the holidays, because I was eating emotionally, whatever the reason may have been, if one day I overate or I ate something that I considered as bad food, the next day I had to not eat at all. I had to overcompensate in that way. And sure, you cannot eat at all the next day or the day after, but sooner or later, you will overeat again. Why? Because the food programming, the way you relate to food hasn't changed. So diets don't work. And if you've been the victim of yo-yo dieting, now you know why. Because diets are about deprivation, they're short-term, and they don't adapt when your lifestyle changes, when your life changes. Food freedom is sustainable because it comes from you. So in September, in about 2 weeks, we reopen our CBQ Food Freedom Program that I told you yesterday that won an award, the new Weight Loss Program of the Year award, which is incredible, thanks to our amazing members. So our Food Freedom Program reopens in 2 weeks on the 8th of September. Very excited about that. So if you're interested in joining that program and working with me and your fellow members to achieve your goals, I'm running a free live masterclass this Saturday to show you exactly how food freedom works and show you the 3 mistakes of weight loss that actually cause you to gain more weight in the long run. So if you're curious about the CBQ Food Freedom Program, if you want to ask me questions live, if you want to understand better your food programming and your relationship with food, type food freedom in the comments and I will send you the invite to join. On Saturday, it will be the final masterclass that I will run before the Food Freedom Program opens. So if you've been interested in that, please subscribe and type Food Freedom so I can send you your link. Now, tomorrow, for day 3 of our Food Freedom Challenge, we're going to talk about something you've asked me about, and that is GLP-1 drugs. Ozempic, Mounjaro, Wegovy, all these things. What's happening with those drugs? Do they fit with food freedom? What are the side effects? Do they work? Do they last? So we're going to talk about that tomorrow. I look forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much for joining me live and see you tomorrow.